On the menu today is a game by Mike Richie, published by Rather Dashing Games, and it's Seasons of Arcadia. You are the fairy lords, and you are vying for supremacy to see who will dominate the 12 months of Arcadia this year. We have winter, we have spring, we have summer, and we have autumn. Each one can upset another, but they can't defeat the others unless they sort of take it in order that way. Rather nice, lavish, shiny little gloss box. Fairly compact and bijou. You're going to fit this in a game bag with a few other little games. We would tend to call this a filler game. It's going to take about half an hour to play. It accommodates 2 to 4 players. Slight different rules depending on whether you play 2, 3 or 4, but nothing massively changes. It's more how many tokens you'll use and how many actions you're allowed rather than how the actions work. So it's not a complicated one by any stretch of the imagination. If you like things like Othello, solitaire, chess, there is a flavour of those that comes through as you play Seasons of Arcadia, and that hopefully makes it quite accessible to a lot more people as well. There's no elaborate sort of fancy board game rules here. They're fairly straightforward moves with your tokens. It would be an insult to call this a rules book. It's a rules pamphlet. In saying that, it is very clearly laid out. Lots of nice colour, lots of nice pictorial references of everything that's going on. You know that that's something we always like to see. Show, tell, give a go helps everyone understand what's going on here, because sometimes words alone leave things a bit ambiguous. But everything's shown clearly. The flow: winter beats spring, spring beats summer, summer beats autumn, autumn beats winter, and the likes of the jump move. That's the main kind of, other than placement, that's the main sort of move you'll be making to try and get more of your tokens for your season out onto the board. The equinoxes, winter and summer, are kind of the leads. A 2-player game will always play those. One will always defeat the other. In a 3-player game, you'll leave out spring, you'll start with summer, and the jump will go winter to summer to autumn to winter again. You've got a move action where you can move a token. You have a placement action where you can place a token. You have a jump action where you can jump a token. And, but like checkers, if the situation is right, you can jump multiple tokens, including one of your own. So if you needed to jump one of your own tokens to get next to a token that you can jump, you could do that as long as there's a space, and then on you go with that action. But we'll show that on the board in a little section. So yeah, nice and straightforward. And then the change of rules for 3 or 4 players is there as well. The board is, to my mind, a thing of absolute beauty. In the lights of the club, there was a real shimmer to this. I almost thought it was backlit. Slightly more subdued in the light that we've got today, but I think that's probably a good thing, because you might not actually be able to see it if we were under that intense kind of light. So there we have winter, spring, summer, and autumn. They're all in their own colours, but obviously they've also got their own character as well. As I say, play will always commence with placement in the central sphere. Centre hex, sorry. Oops. We do have the storage tray in the box, which is a nice little touch, a very generous space for each of the bags of the 4 tokens. Winter, summer, spring, and autumn, and that's it. That's everything that's in there, and that's all you need. So the idea is to have all of your tokens on the board. That is how play is won. These are plastic tokens. They've got the image of both sides, and there is, even though they're plastic, there's a nice feel to them. There's a bit of weight, not too much, but there's just a nice tactile sort of sense when you've got them there. And we'll take out a couple of others. So as we say, you'll always have between sort of 2 and 3 actions. That will always be placement as 1. Another action you can have with a token that's already been placed in a subsequent turn is a move action. You'll always have to place beside an existing token, sort of like that there. But once you have placed in another turn, you could easily kind of go, right, well, I'm going to put this one here, but I'm going to move this one to here for sake of argument. The next most important thing is the attack action. Now, in the case of winter, winter defeats spring here, so winter could easily go 1, 2, 3 and jump all of those if that was the case. And what would happen there is that each of those tokens that it has jumped would be replaced with a winter token, like so. And these would go back to their owner, like that. And that's how you try to get your tokens out onto the board. Another oddity is the jump off, whereby you can jump a token off the board. You'll still replace this one. It will still go back to its opponents. But now this token is free, and this token is free to be placed anywhere on the board that you like. So you put it off somewhere safe if you wanted to. Another interesting fact is that tokens that are placed through replacement also get an action. They've already been placed, but you didn't place them. So they could do, if it was legal, if there was something there, they could do a jump action. They could do a move action if you wanted to as well. And that's pretty much it. There's no rocket science to this one, though there is a lot of strategy, especially when you end up with the 4 players or even as 2 players, because you'll always have the equinoxes on the board and you could then adopt the other seasons as well. So you'd have a season that's sort of your ally and your main equinox season. And yeah, we played a game of it at the club the other night. It was my first time playing it. I won, no bragging rights, and I think that always makes you kind of like more fond of a game sometimes when you get a win. It wasn't an easy win, and that I quite liked. It required a lot of thinking, because we were playing with all 4 seasons, so you had to take everything into mind, including what was going to be a threat to you and what you were leaving yourself open. And then there's that scope for making one of your seasons slightly sacrificial to give your opponent that feeling they're doing it when you're really focusing on trying to get another one out there too. So yeah, looking forward to getting to play this with some more members down at the club. Really nice little game, very accessible. I think a lot of people would enjoy this one, and it's not a brain melter. It's easy to pick up that little rule pamphlet. You'll read it in a few minutes. You'll understand what's going on and you'll be able to take to it. So hopefully that's one that you will fancy checking out. As I say, Seasons of Arcadia, and a very friendly little game to fill a quiet evening or patch up an evening if you're waiting for players coming for a big game. It's not going to take all night to play, and still a bit of fun, and you can have a chat whilst you're playing it too. Always a win. Thanks for watching.